Hello, great people. Nigeria's popular lawyer, Dele Farotimi, was whisked away by the Nigerian police force. The media has been awash with the news, and in a moment, I'll be playing you a clip of how Dele Farotimi was whisked away by men of the Nigerian police force. Then, when we return from watching the clip, I will be telling you the offense that Dele Farotimi committed. I'll be telling you why people criticize and protest, because Dele Farotimi is a popular critic of government and the big wigs in the society. So why do we have the likes of Dele Farotimi, Omoyele Sowore, Very Dark Man, and a host of others? You will be hearing that from me, and I will also be doing what I call a review of the conduct and operations of the Nigerian police force as regards the arrest of Dele Farotimi. Then we will also be doing what I call what the ordeal of Dele Farotimi tells and teaches us. What does he tells and teaches us as an ordinary Nigerian? What does the ordeal of Dele Farotimi, what signal does it send to you and I? What should we rejoice and be afraid of? We'll be talking about that. And lastly, we'll be reviewing the conduct of Nigeria's senior lawyers as regards defamation. We'll be looking at some crucial examples. We'll be talking about all this and a whole lot more on this episode of Politics with Dr. Omosoladeji. This is one episode you cannot afford to miss. And if you are yet to subscribe, do well to subscribe to this channel. Let's quickly watch the video of Dele Farotimi. It's just a 30 seconds video. By the way, watch out for the extended version. Check my YouTube video catalog, and of course, you'll find it there of how Dele Farotimi foretold his own persecution and how he was eventually whisked away by the Nigerian police. But let's watch this short video of how he was whisked away before we come back for more analysis as outlined. Let's watch the video. Let's watch it. Play. Play. There you have it. You saw how Dele Farotimi was whisked away by men of the Nigerian police force. Now, first, what is the offense of Dele Farotimi? Dele Farotimi wrote a book. In that book, he wrote something about Afe Babalola. Afe Babalola is the founder of a university in Ekiti State, and reportedly, Afe Babalola is reportedly the biggest employer of labor in Ekiti State, apart from the government. So when Dele Farotimi wrote his book and he was making references, he was citing examples. He cited the example of Afe Babalola, that Afe Babalola used his influence to obtain judgment at the Supreme Court, and he used his influence to obstruct justice, and that really affected his bright career. That Afe Babalola started well but didn't end well, according to Dele Farotimi. And the police also received a petition against Dele Farotimi about some of the defamatory statements that he allegedly made against Tony Elumelu. Now, those two petitions were pending, but against media report that it was based on the petition of Tony Elumelu, no, it was based on the petition of Afe Babalola. We will be reviewing later on the conduct of the police, because the police came all the way from Ekiti to whisk him away, to arrest him in Lagos and whisk him from Lagos to Ekiti State. We'll be reviewing the conduct of the police in a moment. But first, I think what we need to examine is, why do people criticize and protest? Because Dele Farotimi is a popular critic of government activities. He is very outspoken. You must have seen his interviews in the media, in popular media stations, and on his social media space. You can call him a truth sayer. So why do people critique? Why do people protest when some people just decide to keep silent or even support wrongdoing, or some people just resign to their fate? Some just call on God and say, let God be the judge. But why do people protest? Why do we have the likes of Showore, Dele Farotimi, very dark man? The truth is that every human being has his own stretch limit. You heard me right. In fact, your own stretch limit may tolerate some bad things in the society. But there are some people, they are usually few, that you can say they have short fuse, in the sense that if they watch movies and they see development in other countries, they see the justice system, and especially those people, if they have been opportune to travel out before, and they see the network of roads, constant electricity, good healthcare system, good policing system, they cannot withstand it. They want to protest. They want to speak out against it, because what they've seen is what is engineering them to speak out. What they see, what they are seeing, is what is engineering them to speak out. And that is what is happening to somebody like Showore. There are also some people that they don't have much experience, but they are naturally wired to resist injustice. For instance, if you promise renewal and you are giving people hopelessness, if you promise change and you get to power and you are changing the promise, definitely there are some people that they are naturally wired to resist anything they see as cheating. So they will see it as, you promise to give the dividend of the dividend of democracy to people, but you are putting people in hardship. So they will naturally be voicing out against you. There are people like that. So you cannot expect that. And as I've always said, God forbid a situation whereby we will have a country whereby everybody will be zombie. That anything government does is right. Anything government does is correct. Government cannot do anything wrong. If you belong to that category, that you just support because of ethnicity, religion, or party affiliation, that you don't have a mind of your own, the truth is you are a zombie. You are a zombie. That anything that government does is right, because you criticize your child, you criticize your parent, you criticize your spouse. But when it comes to the people in power that are putting you in problem, you cannot say anything. Anything they are doing is right. You are a zombie. May I never be a zombie. And if you are a zombie, I hope to see you repent. So people like Dele Farotimi are the conscience of the society. Now, I want to ask a question to lawyers, because Dele Farotimi allegedly defamed Afe Babalola that is living in Ekiti State. So Dele Farotimi made the statement, the alleged defamatory statement, in Lagos State. But the police came from Ekiti to whisk him to Lagos. And that begs the question that he was charged in the Ekiti court. I want to ask the lawyers, isn't it where the offense is committed that you will stand trial? So if Dele Farotimi made the statement in Lagos State, is it to stand trial in Ekiti State, where the person he allegedly made the defamatory statement against is residing, or in Lagos State, where Dele Farotimi made the statement, which is regarded as an offense? Because I usually hear lawyers say that you'll be tried when the offense is committed. So I'm not a lawyer. I'm a political scientist, and I'm proud to be a political scientist. So I'm just throwing it out there to lawyers to give us some enlightenment on the travels of Dele Farotimi. Now, let us go to the conduct of the police. You want to ask yourself, where did the Nigerian police get the resources to arrest Farotimi all the way from Ekiti State? Because the Nigerian police that I know and that you know, if you walk to a police station in your area, the police station in your area, if you walk there and you say that somebody has committed an offense, the police will claim that they don't have the resources to go and arrest that person. Maybe it's just a 5 minutes drive, since I've been born. And it's not the fault of the police. It is the budgetary allocation that is being given. It is not the IG that will use his urine to fuel the police vehicle. If you don't give him sufficient funds, what will he do? So just as the education is underfunded, just as the health sector is underfunded, just as there are inadequate infrastructure, the police is also underfunded. That is the fact. But the police that is underfunded, that will tell you they don't have fuel in their car for them to go and arrest somebody that has committed an offense in maybe 3 or 5 streets away. The police that will tell you that you should go and buy the paper that you will write statement on, that somebody that has committed an offense against you will write statement on. The police that will tell you that you should go and buy ISA before you see somebody that has been detained in their cell. That same police came all the way from Ekiti to arrest somebody in Lagos State and whisk that person back to Ekiti. Is it that the police has resources to fund the investigation, arrest and prosecution when it comes to the rich and influential and powerful people in the society? Or is it Afe Babalola as a private citizen that fund the operation of the Nigerian police force to arrest Dele Farotimi? The question is, if it's Afe Babalola that funded that operation, will that not influence the operation of the police to be biased towards Afe Babalola? Because as the saying goes, he who pays the viper dictates the tune. So if it is Afe Babalola as a private citizen that fueled the car of the Nigerian police, that made everything available for them, that fund the whisking away of Dele Farotimi from Lagos to Ekiti State, is that right as a country? And what does that tell us? Does it mean that if Dele Farotimi had defamed a poor man on the street and that poor man does not have money to fund the operations of the police, does it mean that that poor man will not get justice? Does it mean, is that what it means? Because the police that we all know usually lack resources to investigate and prosecute. So where did they get this? And another thing is that police jurisdiction, operation, procedure. So is it that the police, because still relating to funding actually, because when the police officers, if they come to Lagos, they will first of all go to the headquarters or the police division in that area to make a report that we are here for a particular operation. They will make a report. The operations of the police, to the best of my knowledge, is that you cannot come from another area that is not your jurisdiction to come and effect arrest and whisk somebody away. You must notify the division in that area. I don't know if you are coming from another state. Maybe you have to first of all inform Lagos State Police Command. That one I'm not sure. But naturally, sensibly, that should be the process. So, but if you are in another division, let's say somebody offend you in Ekpe and you are staying in, let's say, Yaba, if the police from Yaba are going to Ekpe, they need to go to the police station that is in Ekpe, the division where that person, where the residence of that person falls in. They have to go and notify them of their appearance that they want to carry an operation. So you can imagine what it means for the funding. Before the policemen will come from Ekiti State, before they will report to notify the Lagos Command, if that is the case, before they will notify the division where Dele Farotimi is residing, and before they now whisk him away, you can imagine the fund that is required. So did Afe Babalola fund the operation of the police? Now, let us go to Afe Babalola himself. When you defame people, we usually hear that they will give you a chance to retract your statement. They will say, we give you 24 hours, go to the newspaper, publish, something like that, you know. The lawyers know more about it. But I've heard about it, times immemorial, in the media. So did Afe Babalola give Dele Farotimi the chance to retract his statement? Because I didn't hear, I'm a good follower of news and happenings in the polity. I didn't see any media report that Afe Babalola gave a warning to Dele Farotimi, as it has always been the case. So is Afe Babalola himself guilty of abuse of power? Is Afe Babalola himself, as a legal luminary, is he following the normal process that the law prescribed when it comes to defamation? Or is it possible for you not to give the person that you think has defamed you any warning and just go ahead and arrest that person and charge the person to court? Again, I leave that for the lawyers to tell us more. But one thing that baffles me is the reaction of senior lawyers against defamation. Recently, Femi Falana, sued Very Dark Man. And to use the instance of Afe Babalola, it was widely reported in the media that Femi Falana gave Very Dark Man an ultimatum to retract the statement that he deemed defamatory on his person. But that didn't happen in this case of Afe Babalola. But then, why is it that when it comes to senior lawyers, they just rush to court, and before you know it, that person will be sent to prison? So is it because they are senior lawyers, they are using the resources at their disposal? Or is it that the judges are allegedly sympathetic to them because they are senior lawyers? What I can say is that Afe Babalola should temper justice with mercy, because to my mind, if you are a senior lawyer, you are a senior advocate, and you've been in the profession for 30-40 years, there's no way you won't have network in that profession, right? And well, Dele Farotimi, I don't know his network, but he too will have his own contact, because he too is a lawyer, unlike Very Dark Man that is an activist and not a lawyer. But then I believe that because Dele Farotimi himself is a lawyer, Afe Babalola is a lawyer, then there's something connecting them. And I would like them to find a middle ground to this thing. But I hope that Dele Farotimi will not be discouraged to be speaking out about the ills and the negatives in the society. Nigeria need more of Dele Farotimi in this country where there's so much injustice and oppression. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Politing with Dr. Omoshola Deji. Dr. Deji is a political scientist and public affairs analyst with a PhD in political science. And this is where we talk about politics and happenings in the polity. Do want to subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past videos. And of course, I have great, interesting videos coming your way. Till I see you again, of course, you already know that I love you all sincerely.